everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. My name is Miranda, and this is where we talk about books and anything to do with books. So I have a little bit of Chardonnay. It may look like coffee, but it's Chardonnay in my Central Perk cup that my best friend got me a couple of years ago for probably my birthday or something. She likes to get me coffee cups, and a lot of times they're friend related because I do get obsessed, and Friends was one of the things that I got obsessed with. You want me on a Friends trivia night game for sure. But that's not what we're talking about. So today I'm changing it up just a little bit, and I'm talking about 3 different books because I have been reading quite a bit lately, and if I don't talk about them now and have some discussions now, then I will forget what they're about. So we're gonna be talking about A Flicker in the Dark, Such a Lovely Family, and A Room Called Earth. So a couple of thrillers and then just a general fiction. So I think I'll start with A Flicker in the Dark. It's the latest one of this group that I have read. It follows this girl, Chloe Davis. When she's younger, there were 6 girls that went missing in her town. One of them including her friend. It turns out her dad ends up confessing, gets put in jail, in prison, and 20 years later she, moves on with her life, becomes a psychologist, and people start going missing again, including one of her patients. She gets extremely paranoid. She starts drinking, abusing prescription drugs, goes through a paranoia spiral where she's seeing motive in every person. I won't give any of the twists away. I'll just tell you kind of what I was thinking throughout the book. Early on, I suspected I don't know what chapter, I can't ever remember that kind of stuff, but pretty early on, I suspected the brother. He was just a little bit fishy. The fiance, of course. I didn't really end up liking him, to be honest, but also because she was spiraling so hard and drinking so much and taking all of these pills, I really thought maybe she was delusional and had something to do with it. But part of the paranoia was she just knew that there was a connection between all of the girls that went missing in her past and the ones that are currently happening. She was a really unreliable narrator, which is kind of one of my favorite things because in those cases you generally think, oh, it's this person, because you just follow their train of thought since they're, so sporadic generally. Overall, I gave it a 4.0. I thought it was a good thriller. I have really been in thriller moods lately. Romance just isn't hitting it for me anymore. I either need a fantasy or a thriller to keep me interested in going in the books. Oh, before I put this away and move on to the next one, I just want to talk about the margins for a second. I don't know if it's just my copy or everybody's is like this. Like I mentioned before, I have OCD, so I almost put this book down because of the way it was printed, which is frustrating, and I know it's a me problem, but I know I can't be the only person out there. I know that there will be people out there that this bothers as well. Like, look at those margins. Ugh, like, I just don't know, it really bothered me. And it's throughout the entire book. But other than the margins irritating me, I would recommend this book if you're into thrillers. There were twists and turns, and for some reason, Louisiana is a really good, I like that kind of setting. New Orleans is me and my husband's one of our favorite places to go, so maybe that's why I just kind of partial to, Louisiana. But it's a pretty common place. It's a pretty common setting for thrillers because I think it aids in like an easy place to hide bodies and the wildlife. They can feed off of them. Now we're getting into all of that stuff, but this was set in Louisiana, and it was just a good feeling thriller. I don't know if that's a good way to put it, but I enjoyed it a lot. Okay, the next one I'm going to talk about is Such a Lovely Family. I read this back in May. It actually got me out of a reading slump, so I really like this book a lot. It's about a wealthy family who's having an annual cherry blossom party, and someone ends up murdered. It looks like a robbery gone wrong, but as the investigation goes on, of course, everybody has motive, everybody has secrets. Some of the secrets they're keeping from each other, like the secret that the parents are keeping from one of the sons. I was like, seriously? But what I liked about this book is there's also a little bit of levity. One of my favorite characters was Cookie. When I was in the middle of reading this, I had posted either on Instagram or Lemonade or something about Cookie, that one of the neighbors, and how it gave me Cameron Tucker vibes from Modern Family. And one of those followers, I think maybe from Instagram, I'm not really sure, was like, isn't one of the kids' names in Modern Family Calhoun? And that's the family name in this book. So I think they had some Modern Family inspiration. If not, I'm really reaching, but there were some cute little levity moments, and he was my favorite character for sure. I could honestly relate to the sibling rivalry, jealousy angle, but I really felt sorry for Ellie Grace. She's a social media influencer, and the family, they're not supportive. All she really wants is some validation from everybody. Family, I think she's looking for it in the influencing, and it's just really sad. Which my favorite quote is actually in reference to Ellie Grace. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And this is from one of her brother's point of view about her. He said, "Her neediness seeped out of her pores and repelled people like a putrid scent." I don't know why that line really got me, because I'm an insecure person and I sometimes talk my insecurities out way too much. I am an oversharer, you know, and it can look needy. Hearing that line or reading that line from somebody else's point of view makes me rethink when I need to vocalize things. I actually rated it a 4.5 overall. On Goodreads, it's a 3.7, but I think it was the book I needed at the time to get me out of a slump. So I think it's a little bit elevated in the rating, but I'm gonna stand by it because it got me back into reading again. And the last one I almost didn't want to talk about because I kind of like to keep it a little bit more positive, but I do think that it is helpful when people don't have such a positive review on a book. On Goodreads, I think it had the same, like a 3.7, something like that. Originally, because I read this about a month ago, I think last month sometime, and I originally rated it a 3.0 on Instagram and Lemonade. But if I'm being honest, this is more like a 2.0 book for me. I only did 3.0 because I did finish reading it, but I had to push myself because I kept thinking, something's got to happen in this book. But honestly, nothing really happened. It's about a girl who gets ready for a party. She's on the spectrum, so there's a lot of internal monologue going on, and comparing, you know, what's happening on the outside world and how she's processing it and how she feels about it. She's getting ready for a party. She goes to the party. She brings a guy home. There's a little bit of, not even sex, even less conversation, and then he leaves. I don't even know how to sum up the book besides that. Like, that's all that happens. I think she interacted with 2 people in the book, and she just explained her relationships she has and dynamics of different relationships she has. But she has no conversations with them. The party she goes to, she doesn't talk to anybody. The person she does talk to is the person she brings home, but there's very little dialogue there. And like, I'm surprised the book is this big, but then when you go through and see, like, there are multiple pages of just this, maybe 50 words between 2 pages, which is a little bit frustrating because I need more. Also, there were multiple chapters that are just this long, a paragraph long. I don't mind stream of consciousness writing, but this one didn't do it for me. And I feel so bad. I never go into a book not wanting to like it, and I feel bad for the authors, like they care what my opinion is, but I wanted and needed so much more from this book. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Let me know if you guys read any of these books. I want to find somebody out there that liked A Room Called Earth, because I mean, all of them, of course, but I want to find somebody out there that liked that, and I want to know what their point of view is, and maybe you can change my mind. So I may start doing more videos like this, multiple books instead of just individual books. Be watching out for sometime soon. There's gonna be some videos with my husband coming up. We're gonna be reading the ACOTAR series. I'm already finished and I'm just waiting for him to finish. I just keep, like, I'll ask him a question and he'll start talking. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't wanna know. Let's keep it for the video because I want it to be like fresh. Also, don't forget to tell me what's on your to be read list. Do you have anything pre-ordered? I have a few things pre-ordered and we can talk about those. But until then, I guess I'll see you in the next video.